back in April, the dean's office asked us to think about what we might do differently were there to be a downturn. So we met as a team in April with students and faculty and brainstormed for half a day on what we thought we could do differently. How could we rethink our business to better support students and employers during a downturn? That plan was finessed over the summer, and I had it on a folder on my desk. And in September, pulled it out and said, I think it's time to start executing. So, from our perspective, we had a plan in place. We were ready for whatever came our way. This has happened pretty quickly. I don't think we expected it to be this quick, but at the same time, we were pretty quick to execute on the plan. So I feel like our students are in a good place. They're very well supported. What does that support look like on the student side? We have, as we've always had, a very robust coaching program. We have added to our coaches for this year. We've added 5 to 10 coaches focused on with direct experience in the financial services sector, which we think is a tremendous help to our students as they think about, well, if this area in finance is not available to me, what are other areas that may be places for me to land out of here? So those finance coaches are very helpful in that front. And the coaching program is used by over 80% of the students on campus, and a very highly rated program. So we feel really good about that. We have also increased all of our programs for students, whether it's creating your vision, crafting your resume, all of the programs and steps along the way, we have programs to put towards that, and we've increased those programs. We're doing more for international students who are looking for jobs overseas, or any student actually looking for a job overseas, and trying to enable that through better services and video conferencing and the rest. In terms of employers, we are doing more employer outreach, encouraging more employers to come to campus or at least post jobs. We have conferences planned in Paris and Shanghai for this year, and our team travels truly around the globe year-round, making sure we have the most up-to-date information, our fingers on the pulse and what's happening, as well as encouraging companies to post jobs on campus for our students. So all of that is happening, and at the same time, we are continuing to support the class of '08. So as they continue on their job search and or as their situations change due to the crisis, we are supporting that class through this statement. So our mission statement reads, to enable each student in the realization of a unique career vision. And what is that? What does that mean? What are some key words in there? The first is enable. And that is really the difference between, I think, a placement service and a career development office. As we see our role, it is to provide the best tools, resources, and support for students to enable them in their career search. So that's how we see our role. Many of them are trying to figure out what it is they want to do, and we have coaches and programs to help them do that. We bring companies to campus. We help them go see companies through treks, career treks, London Banking Days, all sorts of different events. So our role is very much to enable, not to say, we think this is the right job for you. In general, I've had people ask me the question, are students panicked? What's happening on campus? Are you seeing a lot of anxiety? I don't see panic. That's not what I'm experiencing on campus. I'm experiencing students who are aware, who are very thoughtful and mindful of what's happening, who are trying to incorporate what's happening on a global economic scale to what that means for them and their career. So they're realistic, they're certainly a level of uncertainty and anxiety, but not panic. And have I heard of students, or do I know of students who have drastically changed what they want to do? You know, in our program, we focus on getting students to focus on their 5 to 7 year vision. Those visions haven't changed. What's changed for some, is how they might get there. So they might have had a path plotted out, but there may be an obstacle on that path right now. So students are stepping back and saying, okay, what are my other avenues for getting there? What are other paths that could lead to the same destination? It may take 1 or 2 hops. It may take less time or more time, but they're pursuing now multiple paths as opposed to the one that they had originally crafted. About 80% of the class changes function or industry while they're here. So from what they did before to what they end up doing leaving here. So career switching is a very common occurrence on this campus. And it's one of the reasons why the summer internship is so important, because that allows for an opportunity to gain new skills, get inside a new organization, understand what a new function is. Students are still keen to do that. Companies are still open to that. It's a question of, for those who want to switch everything, function, location, and industry, it might take more time. They might have to do that in 1, 2, or 3 steps as opposed to just 1. So we're getting students to think upfront, what is it that you want to switch, and prioritizing one of those things for the summer. And ideally, it's function. That is core to satisfaction in a job. And based on Tim Butler's research, he's found that those interests are pretty much set in their early 20s. All of our interests are set in our early 20s. So if we can nail that early on, it'll lead to greater career satisfaction down the road. So helping them figure out function first, working that into a summer internship plan, and then pursuing the next step for full-time. Last year, twice as many domestic students took positions abroad, and about 50% of our international students accepted positions overseas. So we are seeing an increase. I expect that will continue. We are proactively going after those opportunities through our conferences abroad, through our roundtables in London, and actively supporting those students through coaches who are in those areas. So we have coaches in Europe, we have coaches who focus on Asia that go back and forth between Asia and California, and we have regional directors within the school who focus on the employer outreach side. So I think we are actually in a good position to support those opportunities. And then you have many of the multinational organizations that recruit for those offices as well. So the international students are finding great opportunities. It seems to be where the students are excited. Many of the students are excited to be, and where there's a lot of opportunity right now. MBA recruiting is a long-term proposition for all these companies. They're recruiting now for leadership in 4 to 5 years. So many of the organizations that are currently experiencing this financial crisis are still interested in hiring talent, because hopefully in 4 to 5 years we'll be out of this. So recruiting is alive and well. At the same time, certain paths are less, there are fewer opportunities in certain paths. So where are students turning to? We have seen an increase in the social enterprise area. We are seeing more students who want to make that their first stop, whereas before it might have been something that they have pursued 10, 15 years down the road. HBS has a unique program in that area called the Leadership Fellows Program, where we co-sponsor leadership opportunities within organizations such as the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Those opportunities are very popular this year. Applications are up over 30% for those positions. Also seeing a large number of students interested and more interested in pursuing directly out of school entrepreneurship. So HBS alumni are famous for the companies that they start. Again, they start them later down their career path. We are seeing more students wanting to go into entrepreneurship directly out of school.